All right, boys, welcome back to the next episode of Podium Talk. Had a really good episode with our special guest Ryan on to talk about the recap of the Holiday Havoc meet. We went over what we liked, what we didn't like, as well as a full recap of both of our meets because we both competed in it. We hope to get a lot more episodes out and be a lot more frequent now. And we'd like to introduce a little series that we talk about at the end of the episode, but overall, hope you enjoy. Welcome to Podium Talk. All right, boys, welcome back. Next episode of Podium Talk. We're here with our special guest, Ryan, the best 110 in Georgia, going possibly 105. Early announcement.
Yeah.
Let's just start her off with a training update. We'll start with you, Ryan. How's training been going?
So I got back into training last Friday. That was kind of brutal. I get detrained pretty fast, so like 3:30 on my back felt like ass. But we back. Primary days this week were Monday and Wednesday, and I feel like I'm stronger than I was in prep. So we'll see.
Tony, we'll get you out of the way.
Oh, not too good, man. Next, not too good. Yeah, my little back's hurting again. Um, so I don't know. I guess we cross our fingers and hope next time we make a pod I can say something different.
Same thing, Avery.
Oh yeah, I mean, first block post Olympia was not great by any means, nothing super positive to post about. And then next block's off to a shitty start, in my opinion. It's not like anything's like I didn't like crazy slow or anything, but I actually don't historically feel bad on week one. I think I feel bad on week one, and if I historically have a bad week twos are usually like I'm pretty down on a week two and I'm not performing then. So it was a shock to kind of just feel bad across the board this week one. And we've actually modified some things like my heaviest squats week three. So we really got to see. But on the UE law,
Oh yeah. Our technique is like trash right now, but we're very strong, honestly. Like we look disgusting whenever we lift, but we're moving weight. So that's solid. So we're getting back into it. We have to adjust a little bit to be able to be better because we fumbled the bag real hard.
which we
But
will get into.
we'll show up at CNAT's real nice. Let's just go ahead and hop into it. Holiday Havoc, like a 6 out of 10 meet. I had a trash performance. The venue sucked, but weights were nice.
6 out of 10? That was generous.
I mean, I would it's
I
not
would
the
say I would yeah, I'd probably say 6 out of 10 would be generous for your performance. Damn, I'm coming brutal.
yeah. I
But
mean,
yeah,
that's 6 out of 10 would be generous. We were trash, but the 8 days after I went to a USPA meet and was there for 11 hours handling my guy. So I would
beautiful
that's
USPA.
why I'm saying 6 out of 10 because at least it wasn't 11-hour meet with 15 minutes in between each attempt. But yeah, so I mean, obviously, me and Ryan competed, same weight class, head to head, real close. We're doing great. Ryan had a great, phenomenal day. Let's hear about
Venue was
that.
rocking. Venue definitely rocked with Ryan a lot more than they rocked with Eli.
Eli's just some random white dude, bro. No one knows him.
For real, I'm trying to keep it that way.
Try
Nah,
to keep
bro.
it that.
Nah,
All right. Nah, but
Yeah,
no, because you two competed. What what are initial observations about the venue?
I'll let you start, Ryan.
Um, Obviously the venue was insanely small. The warm-up room was crowded as shit, but like kind of understandable though, because hard to find good venues in the Metro Atlanta area. And I mean, DNA was a proposed venue, but things didn't work out.
Oh,
But
I actually didn't know DNA was a proposed venue for Havoc.
I did not either.
wasn't it? Pretty sure.
I know
I
I know there
mean,
was an initial venue and they changed to this one. I know it was
no,
a
you
little.
could very well be right, but I mean, like Tony just got up there not too long ago, but like you know all the details about what goes on there more than we
I mean,
do.
we already talked about it before, like on Instagram. I don't know
Yeah,
if you're,
probably, yeah.
yeah, but things didn't work out behind the scenes, um, mainly because of money, like allocation issues. But
But we don't know all the
yeah, we don't
specifics of
know
like
the specifics.
what goes into all that and everything. So,
Well, let me just pause right here because we left out a big part. Because we all know Ryan, but Ryan, introduce yourself to our listener.
oh yeah, we
So,
did.
So explain
um,
Oh,
where you're
we're
at in your training,
starting
where you're
off
at in your
terrible
life.
today.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's been a minute.
I've been training for almost 4 years now, and Holiday Havoc was my first meet as a junior. I turned 20. I turned 20 this past June, and we since my last meet was at Georgia State's, and since then I went up 2 weight classes, went into Havoc, went 8 for 9, PRs across all lifts, and 2 of them being all-time PRs.
Very nice. And you're a student at UGA,
Yeah,
and you
like
rep CCPL.
yeah, like you should rep CCPL too.
Oh, I mean, also, I mean, shout out your boy, shout out Harvey, man.
Oh yeah, I'm coached by Harvey, aka Lumpia Poppy, on Instagram. Uh,
Lumpia.
yeah, he hit me up um right in the beginning of COVID, like the week of quarantine, and we've been together since.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, long time.
Very nice. So now that that's out of the way, back to
Yeah,
the meet.
Yeah,
I'd say one of the biggest things that needs mentioning, other than the venue size, is the parking.
Oh yeah, the parking was absolutely the most atrocious thing I had ever seen.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely caught me off guard.
we
if you're
use
gonna
like
have a,
I got really lucky that I just followed my maps
yeah,
and it felt like and I was the very last car in the in that first parking road. So like I could have stayed however long and just backed out and left at my time and so I got really lucky. But it was
Mhm.
terrible.
Yeah,
yeah. They used like 4 separate lots for that,
Hmm.
yeah.
and it was like a weird location too.
Crazy
Yeah.
weird. I had to park like a
Parking
mile
heavy.
away because I got there at the start of the second session. So I had to park like all the way off, like far off. And I was so lost trying to get there, bro. It was like it was a train wreck for sure in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the worst things for me that was the meet was parking far away because I'm a douche and had to bring my own bar, so I had to haul the bar back and forth. It was used though, so it was nice. Not having water at the venue is wild to me. Like no source of water
Yeah,
other
I
than
mean,
like
even
a
yeah,
sink.
even though like you should be prepared and bring your own water, like the venue should at least have
Yeah.
a water fountain.
Yeah. No,
Like I,
Yeah,
oh, even like a big old jug, it's not going it shouldn't
mhm.
last you throughout the
Yeah,
entire duration of a powerlifting meet. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to refill that for sure.
like
Yeah.
I had my half gallon and I gave Ryan my other half gallon. I think we both had them drank by Dead's, and I was drinking out of Chris's that he brought, and he was like, "Sorry if it tastes weird," and I was like, "Dude, like what does that even mean?"
What does that mean?
I know,
Hey,
like
what
he's
the
like
heck?
he says my girl thinks it tastes weird. I was like, it's the only thing I got. I had to do it. Like there's no
That's so
choice.
sus to say.
That's the craziest thing you can say to bring someone a jug of water, bro.
Yeah,
you
I
could have just
mean,
said nothing.
yeah, I mean, just let me
Yeah.
figure it out myself. But
That's
yeah, I mean, the
exactly
next
the
the next
opposite.
the next problem I saw was just the capacity. Like we had a decent amount of people coming out there to see the lifts, even though it was
Mhm.
That's
like
what I
during
was
the
about to
SEC
say.
champ.
Is I think that I think the attendance was actually pretty well. Like people showed up to watch everyone they knew lifting or whatever.
Hmm.
But that's the thing is I've always been opposed to like I don't really like the CrossFit venue meets or whatever. But the best thing about those is they usually have plenty of space. You know that sometimes people complain about the equipment you use in those kind of meets, but as long as you've got space that people can spread out and everything, like
Yeah.
Like that, I think that's a foundation of having a good meet.
And I think the warm up room was a little cramped, but having that garage door open and that was all
Yeah.
nice. One bathroom was tough for like everybody.
Well, I think there was two, but it went out of commission super early, so I don't know who did what in there. But
I could guess. But then there's also like the fact before weigh-ins, they are taking piss tests from the first section session in that restroom. So like you want to take a leak before weigh-ins to weigh, an ounce lighter. You had to go behind the dumpster,
Yeah.
which we did. But I mean, that's just the venue and stuff. The crowd was great. They were into it. Spotters were decent. So dude
yeah,
was all up on me one time. I was like, all right, dude.
but I don't think I recall like I don't recall people touching it early or like I don't
No.
remember anyone having to do any reattempts or anything. So
Y'all remember when that kid dumped the bar?
oh
So then
yeah,
yeah, that
oh
was first
that did
session. I didn't
happen,
even hear
but
about this.
that's a
Freak
I think if
accident.
they follow the actual rule book, they gotta throw bro out. But
I think they have the option to throw him out. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. I mean, that was like disgusting because it was off the unrag, right?
yeah, but that's one
So
of those crazy things, dude. Like
Like when you bailed on that squat like 2 weeks ago out of nowhere.
Avery.
Wasn't that like a couple days ago?
Not no, it was like 3 weeks ago.
yeah, Eli, I don't want to talk, but
Yeah, that's a big stray.
that was crazy as hell. But like, continue.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so we can kind of go through our performances if we have to. But Ryan, you had a phenomenal day. Take us through like your mindset through each attempt as you went through it. Obviously, going in, what were your goals?
Well,
And
actually, let me start off by saying this that because I was fortunate that Ryan went to Georgia College and State University, so I've been friends with Ryan where he used to lift with me every day. So I actually handled Ryan, but his friends are our friends Alex and Alex helped him get through warm-ups because that boy was so locked in. He wasn't talking to anybody. Like Ryan was just on go for each according warm-up. So but now you can continue, Ryan.
Yeah, I want to thank them and you too for being able to handle me. But yeah, I don't think anyone's ever seen me that locked in a
Nah,
minute. I only do
nah,
that
bro.
when
Actually, on your first squat, like I was like, trying to hold you at bay, like about to get your headphones off, and you kind of bumped me with your belly, and I was like, oh shit, like he's sturdy today. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't going nowhere, bro. Like he was locked in for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Well, going into this meet, like I didn't expect to open so high. Well, 450 was my opener. A couple weeks out, I thought I would be opening with like 420 at most. But then as confidence built up, I chose 450 and on the platform I blew it up. And once yeah, I blew that shit up, bro. I thought I should
Yeah.
be too, bro.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
continue to get through your attempts because
Okay, so
I
then yeah, Avery gave me the high end for the second attempt, 496. Um, the unrack was kind of for me. I think I didn't take my time as much, but that moved well. And then Avery gave me the high end for the third, 518, which should have been like 530, 540. Like that was
absolutely, but
Well, that's
there.
that's what I said. I
Yeah.
said the green, bro.
man, it's whenever I get attempts from a coach, I've never wanted to be like, you know what, fuck what they're saying. I'm loading this because no, absolutely. I mean, but you just heard what Ryan said. He thought he was going to be opening a lot lower. So I don't want to like for a guy like even though Ryan was so locked in, he's never opened at and like hit these weights like this, and he absolutely fucking smoked every single squat attempt. But like, I don't want to look crazy throwing on something when his coach was like, "This is the high range." Like he absolutely smoked it. But Ryan also doesn't like take very like overzealous jumps in training or on many lifts. So like, I'm not gonna throw something out there. It's like out of pocket.
Dude, if I had Joel, like if I had him to handle me, he definitely would have like went above what the attempt card said because that's what he did at Atlanta Open. But I'm glad that you didn't do that because I wanted 500 like officially in comp. Like that second attempt was 4 pounds away, but
No,
dude,
I there
I
was
didn't want
no
to choke that third,
like
bro.
it. I didn't think Ryan would fail 5 keys more than that at all. But
Yeah.
like, it wasn't needed, and there's like his deadlift, like save whatever we can for the deadlift for a
Yeah.
guy who's Ryan's bench isn't making up a very big portion of his total. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. And
Yep. So long
and
story
the five
short,
eight. What do you say? Oh
long
shit, my
story
bad.
short, the squats were heavily. I think the squats were heavily undershot, man. Our
hey,
Yeah.
two
well,
seven third
I
attempt.
promise you, if I ever handle anyone out there and their coach hands me this sheet attempt, I will be I will act like it's the Bible because I want to do what another coach wants me to do for their athlete because they like I know Ryan, but I don't sit there and study everything about how Ryan moves or Ryan pays a guy to look at all this.
Yeah,
Yeah, one
we're
thing
just
I
giving you a. We're. I mean, I'm not blaming you, Avery. I'm just
yeah.
giving Ryan a
Nah,
hard
nah.
time.
And then I heard and Joel would have thrown it, and Joel would have went over it. I was like, I'm just gonna stick to the plan. Like that's what I've always done. So
And
Yeah, but
Ryan's thankful.
one thing I regret is not giving my input after attempts, you know? Like I would just walk back and just not talk to it, not like tell you what to add, but I mean it worked out. Not for
You
bench
were
though.
locked in, bro. You were scary. I was like, fuck. I mean,
nah, bro.
I was like,
Bro had an aura for sure. It was menacing.
yeah, for sure. But before we go, I think we should go to Eli now. Let's
Yeah,
talk about
actually,
your
before
Yeah,
we
boy.
get in the
yeah.
bench, let's bounce to Eli's and Eli talk to him.
Yeah, so I mean, first thing I want to talk about is just my warm ups. We're feeling pretty solid.
Before we
Um,
talk about how the warm ups felt, I would like to talk about the reason we were complaining about the warm up is because warm up room is how many power bars were in the whole room, and that's
I
one.
brought one.
I actually come from a commercial gym. I don't train on a power bar, so me. If it was me competing coming from rural Georgia, I wouldn't be tripping. But and then there was the fact that not not that the fact that 80% of the weights in the warm up room were pound plates. I know people would complain about that in circumstances because they do. They weren't just pound plates; they were pound plates and actual like CrossFit bumpers or some shit.
Mhm.
Like Eli, how many plates did we have on you for your final warm up?
You mean like what weight did I squat for final warm up?
It was like a 45, 45, 35, 10,
Oh yeah, I mean,
35, 10,
well, warm ups
10.
were just so wild. I took so on all three lifts, I had to take warm ups on different bars and different racks just to be able to get them in. Cause the meet director
I
had
actually
so
before no, I'll talk about this because you weren't the first person I handled because I handled Ryan, Eli, and Ben. And to
Edson.
get the day started, they like it wasn't a very big venue, and they had bars set out, and there was not a bar available open to set someone like a a preset bar for someone to just start squatting because everyone took up, and I had approached someone with only 3 people on their rack. Like, and I asked, could I get my one guy to work in? And they were like, ah. And so I was like, all right, Eli, let's grab the bar you had. And we set up and we had the bar Eli brought, set it up. And the meet director approached us and was like, it's probably best because of the amount of weights we have that you don't spread out like that and you share weights. And I was like, I tried. I only have one person try to get it on a 3-person rack. Like I know when you go to Nats, hey, you have 5, 6 people working on one platform. I guess that doesn't work for people at local meets. But
Mhm.
yeah, I tried. So we set the bar up, and yeah, it was a shit fest trying to get all the weights on. But it wasn't just us having to use a disarray of plates. Like that's entirely not having enough plates or B quality plates. Like if they were all pound plates, pound steel plates, I would have much rather that than what we had. I, I'm not even gonna be a purist. Like give me all power bars, give me all kilos in the warm up room. You know, but some people do ask for that. I I'm not going to sit here and demand that because I know how conditions are, but it could have been a lot better for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't the number of plates didn't bother me as much. It's just so the meat director brought an extra combo rack and 6 plates each side for one specific squatter because he squats 700. His last warm up needs to be 600. Bumpers you can't fit on a bar to 600. This just doesn't work. So they brought metal plates, 6 of them, and she specifically said at the beginning, these are for the heavier squatters. The heavy squatters warm up on this rack. We did that. We ended up with 6 or 7 people on that one rack because Siraj, he's not the heaviest squatter, but he's 6'8" or whatever. He's like 6'5".
Very
So I
big
mean,
guy. He
he
definitely
can't warm up
needs
with
to be on
anybody
that.
else.
You know why he needs to be on that? Because all the other back racks were like actually set up like they were gymnasium racks. You know what I'm saying? You just put the hooks in anywhere that you can and set up a bar.
So I mean, that's fine. But then we get up to our last warm ups, and I have the second heaviest opener. CJ has the heaviest by a lot.
For sure.
But for some reason, his weight is on the bar, even though I should go first because I'm earlier in the flight. But I can't do anything about that because the meat director's in his back pocket loading his weights for him. And Spurgeon's there. I'm talking to Spurge. It's fine. But I ended up taking my last warm up, walking to the platform, getting on the platform, getting my first squat. We got 2 reds to depth. I mean, we're just going to have to squat deeper. There's some argument in the call, but I mean, I don't have many angles.
With the first squat, Eli is not that I just let him be borderline, but he's a borderline-ish squatter. Especially he goes through periods where he will be. So on that first one, I don't have definite proof that he did squat deep. So I mean, and I know how he can be. It was probably borderline, with everything in the warm up room, how everything happened, because you took your last warm up like a minute before you were on the platform because of having to wait.
I hit my last warm up. You were like, "How's it feel?" And I was like, "It feels like I'm about to walk on the platform and hit my opener."
Yeah, that's
and I
exactly
walked on
what
the
he
platform
said.
and hit my opener.
I was about to say because it was unfortunate because I forgot about Edson, but yeah, Edson was in your flight, so I had to get handle right before you, so I had to make sure Edson and then Ryan were set up, so I was not around for your last warm up, and that's unfortunate because I think that's the thing where a coach has been like, yeah, can I like my lifter is before this guy, can he like why can't we why can't he go? Especially considering it's the meat director, not a coach.
If it was just a coach, I would have been like, hey, let me slide in real quick. I'll go hit this. Because my second to last warm up, I had to get Tony and Chris to spot me on a CrossFit rack where I just loaded pretty much close to the weight I needed. And then I wanted my last on the combo. I should have just hit it on a random rack somewhere, but I didn't have a rack height set up. But missed depth on the first. We kind of go into the meet knowing I've had a little bit of depth problems because when I popped my back and had that calf issue, we never really squatted as deep as we used to. So that's something we're about to sit back into and find it. Tony calls me out every week.
From that initial snap, that's where most your depth thing isn't even like a thing where like you squat borderline. It's after that snap you 90% of your issues were mental or confidence for the most part, and so you were just that's what you were leaning to in the time trying to recover from that. So so that first one, like it could have been high, and that's fine. No reason to really argue the call. And the second one moved all right, considering, but continue. Like
I said, let me tell my
you didn't throw any weights out, so
I mean, we opened at 573, I think. So I mean, we moved it nice. Depth call in the first one, came back, sunk it, still moved it pretty nice. Got I think 2-1 white, and then loaded 606.
Yep.
On the third, still same thing, sunk it. I think I sunk it deeper than I sunk the second one. It moved pretty trash for 606 in my opinion. Like, I mean, felt good on my back. Haven't squatted that in comp, but I can move that better.
We were looking to have like 7-10 more keys that like if we weren't getting any calls. So like Yeah, that definitely underwhelming to have 606 instead of like 617 or what 622 or
Yeah.
whatever it is. But
And then
like on that last one, I actually moved up right beside. So I had a perfect like even though you had so many people spotting you, I had like a perfect view. And there was no way in hell that that third squat was not depth. I don't understand how you didn't get it, but I know that's how the game goes. So
I will say I do agree with Eli. I think he sunk it, and I think yeah, it was harder than everybody was expecting. Like I thought he was gonna blow it up, but he did kind of grind it a little bit. But it was depth. Like I took a video. I was in front of him. In my opinion, and I'm a harsh guy. Avery knows how harsh I am about the depth. It was definitely there. Um, but I think that just goes to show that this meet was especially on squats, man. It was kind of a shit show, man. Like the only person that like clearly comes to mind that like really did their thing on squat was Ryan. Um, even CJ, you were talking about him. I saw he was kind of struggling a little bit,
yeah, he was
and
well,
6'3".
best lifter con.
the venue was like hot. I wasn't lifting, but I remember
Mhm.
seeing Ryan. Ryan was sweating crazy. I can't remember Eli, but I remember for sure CJ was sweating because he asked me to put his singlet on. And I remember Edson was sweating crazy too because he obviously cut all that weight. And, then we got guys going 1 for 3 on squad. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
not
know,
and no, actually, I mean, I just think there it wasn't just Eli. I think there was a couple other people that had some dissatisfactory calls or whatever. Yeah, and
Mhm.
that's the thing is like personally, I don't like I said, there's no way in hell that wasn't depth, but you can't sit there and cry because you don't get your third because it's
Yeah.
a sport. You don't get calls,
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I
But
heard
yeah,
at one,
exactly.
yeah, I heard earlier in the meet, I wasn't there in the first session, but I heard that like apparently like the first 6 squats got like all red lighted, like in some flight earlier in the meet.
yeah, I
So
did. I definitely remember that.
A lot of
yeah,
it was
so
commands too, though. It wasn't just depth. So there were some rack commands they missed.
No, that's true.
But I mean, I'm not gonna sit and sulk and see like, oh, I think it's depth because of this angle. I don't have enough camera angles to kind of make an argument. I just need to be undeniable at CNATs. If I'm going up against Noah, Bryce, that are going to have a greater total throughout the whole day, if I want to keep up even a little bit, I can't afford to miss squat.
I would also just like to argue that I think I love y'all know how much I love this sport. I think this sport is too expensive to complain about a call and not try to get like still get the absolute best out of the performance. Like you've still got however many attempts left. If it, especially considering this is squat, like not just you, but
Mhm.
in general, like these things cost too much to look stupid stomping around. I've done it here or there, but
Yeah.
hey,
yeah,
But yeah. I mean, we squatted 573 twice, which is nice. So, and we hit
yeah,
606, not to depth though. We could go to bench.
yeah. Let's just move on. Ryan, you go, man. You've been quiet for like 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, so bench, as much as I don't want to talk about it, um, most of prep bench went really well, but then like I had to switch my grip to regular grip from Bulldog because I didn't want to be called for that. And when I switched, I was like 2, 3 weeks out. I switched. I just started getting shoulder pain, like out the hole, like off the chest. But I couldn't do anything about it. Like as much as I properly warmed up, just
Mhm.
constant pain in my left shoulder,
kind of
and
just a deep
yeah,
in prep
and
prep kind
back
of thing.
back cramping. I never get cramp like in my rectors, but this time I did a lot. On meet day, I cramped on the bar, just the bar. And then two of my other handlers like got a massage gun, got some icy hot or whatever, just massaged the crap out of it. It helped a lot. And then got my first 2 attempts. First one was 247 or what was it?
I'd have to pull it
250,
up. I can't remember.
247 or 253. And then second attempt was 264. Those moved pretty good, you would say, Avery.
Yeah, no, you were moving things on bench still. Like they weren't anywhere near the speed that your squats had, but everything on bench was like moving well, and that's why I kept taking the high attempts, which you'll talk about.
Yeah, so on the first attempt, they didn't give me a start command because apparently my elbows weren't extended. So I had to hyperextend them, and I just couldn't preload my triceps at all or my chest, but I made it work.
Yeah, it was 253 to 264.
Yeah. And then Avery gave me like a 12.5 kilo jump.
Hey man,
Yeah.
I would actually I'm gonna defend myself here because it
Okay, yeah,
is
yeah.
literally the way that I've never seen a sheet attempt with it like set up like that, like with like yeah, like we like the second attempt had like a range of like two keys. So it's like even though you smoked the first one and it moved very well, I guess a fatal flaw stuck to the script and only took like a little bit of a jump and then it set up taking a 12 jump for your third attempt. But after talking to your coach, he said on your ATPR, you for that day you took a 10 key jump. So it's nothing outrageous, Like in meat it's a little bit wild, but I mean if you've personally on the best day you've ever benched took a
Yeah.
10 key jump, like we're all right there. So, and with the way it's set up, like you were definitely strong enough for it. It was like a misgroove off the chest initially.
Yeah. Like midway,
Yeah.
my bar pass started getting
Hmm.
all wonky and stuff.
Yeah. One arm was like gonna have it for sure, and the other's fighting for its life. Like how I bench every single rep.
Yeah, my left shoulder's still recovering from that.
I was
I
about to
can't
ask, is hurts?
I can't even do any pressing accessories. But bench feels fine. I don't have any
Yep.
pain from bench.
Yeah, Eli,
Eli.
how'd bench go?
Yeah, I mean, it was a day of a day, you know. Warm-ups went nice. We got out there. We did our little bench. Then we did another little bench, and then we missed our little third. We couldn't hit 170 on the day. It was a close fight. Same thing, left arm went a little higher. Just wasn't there on the day.
All right. Well, since you're not saying anything, you opened up at 352. We because not even because of after squat, we went in with the plan to go a bit of a low on bench. Because we didn't want to miss our first bench and be playing from behind. So we went in low and then took a big air jump to 369.
Mhm.
And how'd you say that went?
It moved pretty decent. It was a little sticky. The 5 kilo jump was gonna get pinned on my chest. So I mean 2.5 was our option.
Mm.
Yeah, I definitely liked his attempts on bench because his second was kind of tough. So I think all of his attempts were like perfectly made. It's just like
Weren't
I
get
think it was just a
Didn't get
rough
the
day.
call. And then
Yeah.
like we've had very high pressing strength, and then at some point it tailed off, and we were just kind of trying to come in and get a decent bench. We weren't trying to come out here with our like with the strongest press we've ever had.
Mhm.
So that actually wasn't disappointing. It was more so missing the keys on squat to have the independent
Yeah.
QT, and like we were playing behind all day at that point.
Yeah, I mean our bench kind of slowed down a little bit. Not even before prep, it just hit a little retrogressing point because I mean we were tripling around 365 or hitting a double at 365 at like an 8.5. And then we leave the day with 369. It just went down a little bit. So I mean we're addressing that. Ultimately we gotta come into CNATs looking at the 400 range. So that's where we gotta get, and that's what we're shooting for.
Big boys
Hell
need big
yeah.
presses.
Yo, Eli, do
Yeah.
you have any issues with like commands or no?
Surprisingly, I didn't, but I mean, on meet day, I never really do. In the gym, I struggle to do proper presses
Yeah,
and pauses,
that's the thing, and I try to be harsh on him. It's just like his big old body doesn't listen when it comes to benching. Sometimes
and
he
that's one
just
thing
does
about training alone too.
that. Actually, that's a very good point because I'm not the most like standardized bencher while in training, So
Yeah.
Well, how did the I mean, did you guys have any issues with would you guys say, well, I mean, I don't know if you guys really care that much, but like would you guys say that like the equipment itself, like the rack, did you like the rack? How did you feel about the carpet? Like,
Bro
I don't
wants
know,
us to
did
talk
we have
about TSS rack. He wants us to get
well, I don't
everyone to
know. I
use
just think
it.
that's an interesting, topic, especially at the local
no,
level.
actually, I mean, no, I want to say it. I want to say it outright, bro. I haven't even actually I have, but I think that that TSS, it's got to be the supreme combo bench out there, and I don't understand. Like, I understand why the out like people want Elecos and everything, but I want to say it's simply because it's bougie, bro. It's
Yeah,
the
for
power.
sure.
It's the powerlifting brand, and especially because with powerlifting America, like it's like the big sponsor. Like they just posted the other day about going to the warehouse or factory or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like a bougie thing. But I hate benching on an Alico. It's awful.
Well, they were on
Like,
an ER.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. But I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to talk about benches now that you threw it out there. But I think an ER is like standard. It's not like it doesn't feel great, but like it's just what a combo rack's meant to be. I think.
Hmm.
Am I wrong in that?
Yeah. I mean, when I went to DNA and I got on that TSS for the first time, my first thought was just like, this is a nice traditional, like nice bench. You sink into it a little bit. It's like the legal version of a fat pad. It's the closest you can get while not giving you too much of an advantage. It's nice and wide on your back so your shoulders aren't pinching anything. The grip goes crazy. But being on the ER in training, when I went to Trueborn, I noticed a little bit of like me slipping, and on warm ups I did. But on meet day, same thing with the press commands. I surprisingly didn't have a problem. Like I may not have been getting as good a positioning as I would on another bench because I would say my bench technique is a bit more technical with the arc and the press points and whatnot. But I mean, I
Or a
didn't
bigger
notice it.
guy as
Yeah.
well. And I guess although I would say an ER is like the standard bench or combo or whatever, I guess at this point there's not an ER out there that doesn't have a good amount of wear and tear in it, or if you're not constantly replacing the pads. And we
Mhm.
all know we show up these meets sometimes, and the pad's not in the best condition. But not
No, for
even talking
sure.
trash about this pad, but just about like the ER
Yeah.
probably was pretty slick.
For sure. That's why I'm surprised because you know me, my bench is made about like Avery said, I on a hard pad, um not really like it affects me. Like I like the TSS. So luckily at Nationals, I didn't have an issue on bench at all because the carpet was so good. So my feet weren't going anywhere. And the pad, I wasn't sliding at all. But I noticed it was the ER rack. And like Avery said, like they're old, probably thousands of people have been laid up on there and sweating and putting whatever on it. So I don't know. I just wanted to see if you guys had any issues with, maybe Ryan didn't say anything. Eli said he was fine. Ryan, were you cool or?
But I was about to
Um,
say, Ryan just trains on combos a lot more, so he'd notice it more. Eli,
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I didn't feel that much of a difference on the ER, even though I trained on the TSS for all of my like almost all of my primary bench days. On my secondary to bench days, I would bench on those commercial pads at the UGA rec gym, but uh I mean if you chalk your back enough, you're not sliding on that ER pad like at all, in my
Oh,
opinion.
all right. Well, that's
And
talk
and,
to him.
and
Ryan said we're not here for excuses talking about the equipment. All right,
okay.
y'all boys just wasn't strong.
Yeah, no, I'll slide on a pad. I won't lie. But
Nah, yeah, like people always are like, you see people throw bands on like combo racks, which is absurd to me coming from a commercial, because like I guess like others feel better, but like man, you give me a combo rack and I'm just gonna assume I got at least 2 more keys, bro.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna assume so.
Yeah, I mean, for me, at a certain point, when I get around like 335, if that bench has any sort of give where I can sink into it, at that weight, I just don't even notice slipping anymore. But anything under that, like 295, 275s, I can feel it. But I mean, training at a commercial gym, I'm training on an adjustable bench that doesn't even come close to filling out my back. It rolls, it shakes. So I'm happy anytime I get to
Got out
touch a
body parts,
nice
bro.
bench. Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.
Well, on the deadlift, I feel like deadlift would have affected me the most if I competed here. It would have killed me because, dude, like you said, there was only 6 pound plates. So how was it deadlifting with actually deadlifting with bumpers, like filling
Hmm.
out the bar with bumpers because they had nothing else, going to kilos? Like, let's talk about deadlifts.
So I mean, so deadlifts was one of the worst ones to be in the warm-up room because me and Ryan were bouncing between three different bars.
Yeah.
Obviously, I brought my own bar. I let whoever use it as long as I could be bouncing between the two powers. But I mean, Ryan for sure was bouncing between like three or four because he had, I think Team Lou was kind of past like 315 as you were trying to get in, and they
Mm.
didn't want you on that bar. And then you had Spurgeon with CJ over there, and they had the other power bar. And same thing, there's just like six people on each power bar trying to get different weights. And my biggest issue on the day with warm room is people weren't taking standard jumps. They want three plates, a 10 and a 5 and a 2.5 instead of just taking three plates and a 25. Like if it's not your second to last warm up, take a standard jump because it makes it easier for everyone loading. Same thing with like rack heights. If it's not up there, one rack height off is not going to murder you, especially at a local meet like this. Just make it easy for your spotters in the warm up room and the
No, bro,
other.
they got Instagram captions to fight for, bro.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, that's the only thing that pissed me off because I also saw like Ryan had, I think his name's Alex, in there like asking people like, "Can we get on your bar real quick? We need this weight," and they were all like, "Nah, no, we can't
Bro,
do
and
that."
that's so crazy because
I mean, he was like, "Dude,
Tony,
this is his friend's bar."
we went to the biggest stage bar IPF Worlds, and like people, it's hectic, and people will step on your toes if you're like not having some courteous stuff. But like, bro, you work on a platform with so many people, and like it's so smooth, and it's so crazy to me that we get here at the local level, and it's so hectic for some reason, man.
That's
Mhm.
actually so funny you say that because in nationals, bro, on deadlifts, a kid literally this is fucked up to smile at or laugh at, but a kid actually dropped like the plates on his foot in the warm up room and broke his foot, and like it didn't phase. Now, granted, there were more bars and more plates and everything like that, of
Yeah,
course, but it didn't phase literally like anybody else or anything else besides maybe volunteers that were there to help. They kind of went over and cared for him, but yeah, like this stuff, like rack hopping, was not an issue whatsoever at nationals, where
and
there
yeah,
was
and
like
yeah, there are more racks and stuff, but we weren't in prime time, so there's hella people out there, bro. We're at
yeah,
a meet with 60 to 80 people, you know?
yeah, 60 to 80 people in there at a time for sure competing. So no, it's crazy how bad it was for you guys because um it just was not like that at the national scene.
It was actually one of the more hectic times I've been in a local warm up room. It wasn't smooth. And I, I mean, these things do need to be brought up. I'm not trying to rag on anything, but I don't know, man. Like, we can be can we please be a little
I
bit
mean,
more selective with it? I don't know, man. But like Ryan said, I guess things fell through. Probably a last minute effort or something.
Yeah, no, the warm-ups that I had like planned out were all kilos, like in kilo numbers, like 155, 265.
Mhm.
But on the day we had to adjust it, which I'm fine with. Like I'm used to both kilo and pound jumps. But yeah, going between three bars just sounds insane, which it is. But I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it because I was so locked in. Like I would just go up, pull it, be ready. And
Y'all are
I
y'all are
didn't use
so much
bumpers.
better than me, bro.
And I guess you were doing conventional
Yeah.
this time. So I guess that like you don't your feet are closer together. All the less variables kind of with the bar. You don't have to be as picky with the bar as well. But you were locked in. It wouldn't have mattered if you had the
Yeah.
Brian
And
Shaw bar out that bitch.
and using bumpers, I didn't mind because my last warm up was only like 435. It didn't fill up the bar. So,
I mean,
but
with some of those bumpers, man, I don't know. I mean that
No, my boy Ben looked like he had some heavy squats going on in the warm up room because of those weights, bro.
yeah, that they weren't like skinny bumpers. They were as
They were
big as they
fat,
get.
bro.
Yeah, man, but
For
I don't
sure.
know, dude. Y'all are better than me because my last warm up, I was talking to I can't remember who I was talking to about it at the venue, but my last warm up at Nationals was 584. So say I had been at this meet, I definitely wouldn't have been able to. If I didn't have the bar with all the pound plates, I
You
probably
would
wouldn't
have
have.
been you would have been SOL, bro.
Yeah, I would have been out of luck. Yeah, so I would have been in there like on some asshole shit. I probably would have been the one telling other people, "Yeah, dog, like I'm on this bar." But yeah, no, I'm glad you guys are, you know, understanding and
Weak.
yeah.
no, just nice human people that are willing to, bounce around and not start up a fuss. Because it was crazy back there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we didn't get in any attempts for the deadlifts, right?
Not yet. Go ahead
Ryan,
and
want
get
to start us
started
off?
off.
How locked were you in deadlifts after missing the second bench? And we you had the plan to get the
Yeah.
500 total for sure. So even if you could have been ready to pull 1,000 pounds, and we were still going to deadlift exactly what we deadlifted.
Yeah. So one of my goals in going to this meet was to total 600 kilos, and thankfully I all-time PR on my squat gave me some room to miss on bench, and I missed like what 30 pounds ish.
Mm-hmm.
So then to make up for that miss, I had to deadlift exactly 540, which was uh
And you were smoking these
yeah,
attempts,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
led up to the 540, and everything looked beautiful. But with your conventional, you have this like you have this shakiness at the bottom that looks like there could
Mm.
be a moment of doubt, but you just powered right through it.
Yeah, for so with sumo, which I pulled for my last three meets, getting off the floor was always my issue. Like if it didn't come up the ground, like it's done. But for conventional, I can grind it out. Um, First attempt I did 474, blew that up. We jumped to 518, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
518, blew that one up. We
512.
definitely had 562 or 550 in the room, but I told Avery like load 540 regardless because I'm not trying to choke this 600 total.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that. We did just that.
Hey, bro, and now the next time you compete, the bench will be there. Everything's golden, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, dog. I've never seen Ryan struggle until that deadlift. Yeah, that little shake. I
No,
was like,
bro,
oh,
it was so beautiful to see because like I trained with Ryan for like 2 years, bro, and ate a lot. He was a lot skinnier then. And for him to just come in that day and be as powerful and be smoking those warm ups, and then to go out there on the platform, and then the crowd fucked with him heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like it was crazy.
Ryan was a
For sure.
celebrity. He had it lit for sure.
And now Eli, talk about it.
So yeah, I mean, after that bench, we realized that our dreams were crushed and we just needed to get through the meet. So I mean, I told Avery we're just gonna load whatever we need to load to win, which wasn't gonna be that difficult. Warm-ups went good. I mean, I was all around the warm-up room, but weight was moving. And then we get ready to about like three lifters out, and I'm like, don't have my deadlift socks on. So
Yeah.
I was either too zoned in or not zoned in at all. So I mean, we had to run back, throw them guys on. And first attempt moved decent, but my legs like started cramping and shaking. And then I like overlocked and popped out or something. I don't know. I didn't ever see a video of that one, but we did something weird and lockout was whack. So we just retook it. We already know we're not going to throw something silly on the day. We just load whatever. Second attempt, blow it up nice and easy. And then these freaking other 110s just want to make me keep changing my attempts over and over again. It's like a mosquito buzzing. Like, dude, just let me get this day over with. They make
Yeah,
me
no,
keep going
I
up and down.
so with your first deadlift, it was like we knew we weren't gonna throw anything crazy on the day, but it was like a typical thing that happens usually when your opener's too light, almost. Like you unlocked, like you absolutely unlocked at the top, and
Yeah,
and then we jumped to. Oh no! Then we took 578 again, obviously.
yeah. Just because we didn't want to
And
bomb out of that thing.
just pulled the little 606. Just pulled the little 600 to win the day. And yeah, no, they
Yeah.
came up after us and was like, "Hey man, way to battle! Like, force your hand." And I was like, "Yes, sir."
Yeah, it was like, what are you talking about, dude? I mean,
Not,
we we
nah. It was like, no, it was like they obviously had a really good day, and it's like we're
yeah.
over here defeated as fuck in a win. Like, yeah, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a tough thing to come home with like two first place medals and people are like, how'd you do? And I'm like, trash. Like, well, I won both, but I mean, like, against who? It's not
Hey,
Bryce,
brother.
it's not Noah, it
Yeah.
ain't Ricky Bobby lives,
No, but
it's
you
not.
don't need to think about. I don't know why people think about all these like just train and show up. I like what's going to happen if someone who's like an actual elite powerlifter decided to sign up for the Holiday Havoc and you don't win your goddamn, excuse my language, you don't win your little local meet, bro. Like you don't know who's going to sign up
Mhm.
to these things. They don't matter for anything other than like measuring your progress. Like tune out those outside factors unless you're trying to go win a national championship.
Mhm.
Maybe like a collegiate title or something like that. But like, just train and focus on progressing yourself. I don't understand why. Like, yeah, I mean, if the card's there, obviously we're gonna try to win at a local meet. But like, why are these things so important? Like, are we not gonna sign up for another meet in 8 months? I
Mhm.
don't know. I just wanted to rant a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, I mean, so that last deadlift, it moved fast. I definitely had more in it. We weren't like the best version of me on the day. I mean, we left, I don't know, what did we go, like 5 for 9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, 5 for 9, and we had the capability of totaling my best total with that, with just going 5 for 9, with only a squat opener and my bench going down. So I mean, that's something of a W, but not at all. We got a lot of work to do to get ready for potentially CNATs and keeping up with those guys that are in my head, but we deserve. I know we can be there with them head to head. Like we're not gonna beat Bryce, but we're gonna catch up real fast.
Hey
And I
guys, did
mean,
y'all hear him completely ignore everything I said? No, I'm playing, but we're
yeah, I
talking
mean,
about.
I don't care what you say. It's like the same thing. Like you write my programs, but I just do what I want anyway. So he's like, do 2 shoulder presses in the same day, and like, no, I'm squatting. But
No, but
yeah,
no, like that. That is what like when it is like I think like being a powerlifter is like like training. Once you get past that local stage where you can actually go to these CNATs or nationals, then you can look at people in your weight class and compare, and like
mhm,
these are my rivals or whatever it is.
yeah,
But like,
yeah. I mean, one other thing with the deadlift is like we had something else weird happen. It was with my calf, and I like couldn't get in a good deadlift position for like 3 blocks straight, and I was missing like 455 for triples every week. I and that was like 15 weeks out from the meet. So I mean, it's not terrible. We started to pick up pace really good, like on those last 4 weeks of prep. Where honestly, if we didn't have a meet, we might have been better off to just like keep pushing that pace.
Hey, we've been strong as shit if we didn't compete, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, so we're back in the gym. We got to hit undeniable depth. I mean, we're borderline, just got to sink it another inch consistently. We got to get our bench back up. The triceps got to be triceping. And we're pulling silly. We're feeling strong there. So no worries there. We just got
You
to
about to
come
say that's
8 months,
the thing is at the end
whatever
of
it
the day,
is.
like other than bench, squat and deadlift were doing amazing, man. We were very strong.
Yeah. Cause I mean,
Just
what?
showed up to
It,
the meet and didn't go our way.
it was July when I loaded 585 for the first time and popped my back and had to crawl out of the gym basically. I almost Venmoed somebody to unload my weights because I could not move. Like it was brutal. But I mean, we got back in it, hit 611 in the gym, hit 606 on meet day, not to depth, open 2.5 kilos below my best squat in comp. We didn't do the worst, but I just know I got better in me. So we got to get back to work and show better. Yeah,
Yep.
CNETs.
So next for you will be representing Classic City Powerlifting at CNATs, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I got to bite the bullet, swallow my pride, and finally go against everything I've ever talked about before, which is
That is
fine.
that is very true. I will say, like, I've said things about like collegiate powerlifting previously before, like it's actually got meaning now. But like prior, like I didn't really understand the hype. But now Eli actually has hated the team concept of powerlifting forever. Like he hates collegiate powerlifting, bro.
Well, I mean, so my biggest thing, so I had huge beef against CNATs because I'm like, go to Nats. Don't go to CNATs, go to Nats. That's the biggest stage. And then when these individual athletes or team athletes totals came out, same thing there. I'm like, get the individual or don't go. Like that's the toughest part. But it's the path that was provided for me. We fumbled the bag. We got to go back on everything we ever thought. Take that team total, which is, mm, but if we come,
Yeah,
we
we've
use it.
we spoke on the independent team
Yeah.
total thing, whatever. But going to CNATs like it's prior to the split, like it was definitely one of the biggest spectacles in powerlifting for sure.
Mhm.
Just however many people go, and there's
Mhm.
usually pretty high, like a crazy meet usually happens.
Yeah. I just know if I take that team spot, if I go down, I have to show up better. I have to show up with those top kids. I'm not going to place top 10 or top five. Obviously, I think the winner of the 110s this year is going to be around 835, 840 ish. I don't want to out Bryce on what he says he wants. He'll come on soon and talk about it. He wants to be up there with those top guys. I want to close the gap between Bryce, Noah, Ricky, Bobby Lives. Those are the top three juniors in the state, and I got to get myself back up there. And I've talked a lot
Ricky
about being.
Bobby's
He's
Ricky
a
Hey,
Bobby's
I
not
junior?
a
was just
junior,
thinking
bro.
about.
Is he a
He's a
junior?
23. Yeah,
I think he
yeah,
just aged out.
yeah. He has a 23 total for this year, so
He
age
just
23.
aged
I
out.
didn't
So I
think he
was,
was that young, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. I was talking to Bryce about it. He was surprised too. Dude looks like he's about 30, but I
All
don't
of
know.
you
I
110s look old. All of
people tell me I
y'all.
look old. I mean,
Yep.
Bryce is 20. He's about to turn 21. Ryan's 20. I'm 21. I think Noah's 21. So yeah, I mean, but those are the best lifters in the state right now. I have not. I've talked a lot like I'm strong. I just got to go out there and actually earn my slot there. So that's what the plan is.
Yeah, he'll be 24 before February. Looking at his open powerlifting.
Yeah. Which I don't know if he's a CNATS guy. Is he in college? I don't know.
No,
Nah.
nah. But you just threw him out there, and it just blew my mind. I thought bro was like
Yeah.
27 at least.
I mean, that's just the top 110s in Georgia right now. But now that we got through this meet, Tony has PA meets and trying to get to PA Nats.
But
Ryan,
we got to figure out some stuff before all that. First off, just because we weren't going to get the meat exactly we wanted, right?
Yeah. So I did. I think I mentioned in another podcast that I was gonna do the Valhalla weights meet, but I think that's just kind of an issue that we could talk about later on.
So
But
maybe we'll get
just not
Drew
enough
on and talk
people
about it.
Well, simply put, it's just not enough powerlifting America Georgia lifters right now. So there weren't enough people that signed up for that Valhalla weights meet. So I think Drew is planning on canceling it. I probably actually he hasn't. Well, it doesn't matter. It
I can
doesn't
edit it
matter.
out if
But
you want.
All 7 of our listeners are canceling you for not putting out real news.
yeah, but
I'm one of the 7. I'm one of the 7.
I'm the other 6, honestly.
so yeah, we're just talking about 6 people here. I guess that's just us between us 6 people, and then us.
If you know, you know. If we get a DM, we got a DM.
Yeah,
I
no,
know. I'll
We'd
try to get
appreciate
Drew
it.
on.
Drew really might be a listener. Who knows? But yeah, no. If you are Drew, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but
Yeah, we
Drew's
hope
a
we're
busy
still
man.
gang, bro.
yeah,
He
but
don't like y'all.
he just said that maybe he's gonna cancel it. He said he doesn't want to, but he says he might have to because of blah blah. I'll let him talk about that or whatever. But that was the plan. Fell through. It looks like right now, as of right now. So I guess I'm gonna go do that other little meet at DNA or whatever to qualify, which will be about 2 weeks out. So, or maybe 3 weeks out. I think I'll be 3 weeks out from junior nationals doing that DNA meet. So, and I'm not the type of guy to hit one red. So, we're gonna have to figure that out, Avery.
Yeah, or we go compete in another state. You can take me on a little trip, bro.
Bro's always about that mistake. But yeah, Ryan, let's talk about you future plans since we're on the future plans.
Yeah, what are you doing, big bro?
Where's your next meet?
So I'm also gonna do that PLA meet in DNA in April.
He's copying me.
Nah.
Nah, you actually said you were gonna do it before I did.
Yeah.
For sure. I think
I want to
yeah.
say the main reason is because of like the bench rule, but I'm not gonna say that.
What, because of Bulldog or
Yeah.
oh,
That's the
you can
main
do
reason why I'm
both.
switching feds for temporarily. Because I already know they're gonna change the rule eventually. I
Oh,
feel
I
like
didn't even know you could Bulldog in PA. That's cool.
you should be able
Okay.
to. Should be able to.
I'm not a PLA guy. You know, I don't know the rule book over there.
Not a bulldog.
If not,
But-
bro, I'm doing jeans fed, bro.
Hell yeah.
Hey, what if Gene was actually somehow one of our listeners and he pressed your ass?
I start crying, bro.
My
Bro,
shit a joke to you?
Bro would
He's
kill.
gonna
Bro would
tag.
kill me with one punch, bro.
He's gonna tag the fucking story, screaming in the camera, spit all over the camera.
Hey, nah.
Hey,
His
you're getting out
meat
of
did
pocket.
look
You're
fun
getting
though.
out of pocket.
His meat did look fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. So
Woo!
obviously you're doing that meet. What's your because obviously everyone has like their next goal
Yeah,
in total or goal in dots. What's your next landmark?
What's the next goals / milestones?
So in PLA, since it's an IPF fed, I'm gonna have to stay below 105. So my goal is to kind of recomp a little bit, fill it out, and then numbers wise, I'm gonna try to squat 600, somewhere close there. Bench 350, and then deadlift like 620 to 640.
Hey, brother, nah, they didn't got that.
This
Whatever
guy.
Harvey was cooking up over there, it might just carry that man after a recomp and everything, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I heard you made a bet with your roommate that if you
Yeah.
don't squat or you don't bench 315 by like April, that means you have to buy him a steak dinner or something.
Something like that, bro.
And then
Wait, who's
he
your
said
He
he
has
doesn't
to
have to
go
do
out with him
Nish.
one night.
His roommate goes to my gym,
Yeah.
so I see him
Oh,
every
okay.
now and then. But yeah, I
You're
mean,
that boy. Ryan finna get strong, man. Okay.
yeah. So I mean, as we wrap up the Havoc recap, we kind of always for every meet recap, best thing and worst thing. We'll start with Avery having four athletes to handle. Best part of the meet, worst part of the meet. What you got? It could be
Let's see.
Also, let's mention
I'm gonna have to. I mean, I was about to say. I mean, the best part of the meet is absolutely got to be handling my boy Ryan over here to a successful meet. 'Cause Even if my other lifters did not have very good days necessarily, so like that was gonna have to be the answer, even if the venue was, I don't know, where like the best venue in the world. But nah, like I've known Ryan for years now, and Ryan's one of my very first powerlifting friends. So to be able to do that with him, everything, it was very cool. And dude, dude showed up strong as shit. So like I didn't even have to really stress about any numbers I was calling, except for that third bench.
Mhm.
And then the worst part, I mean, I'm gonna skip the trap, like the parking thing. I do think that was really one of the worst warm up rooms I've seen. Like
I mean, if it was just organized better, it could have been better.
I
But
don't, bro. I mean, maybe, but like those plates shouldn't have been. They shouldn't be out there, in my
It
opinion.
wasn't as bad as Atlanta Open 2022 though.
I didn't handle any. I didn't like get anybody warmed up through all that.
Yeah, but like that warm-up room was a mess. It wasn't even a separate room. It was in the same room.
No,
and
but I'm just like with the way so many people were loading like crazy plates up that just have weights they needed, like wasn't enough. The bumpers, like one power bar, like it just wasn't very good. Like it could be like I said earlier, like if everything in there was a steel pound plate, all right, we can work with that. It's not bumpers.
like one of my things about that is like Siraj was competing at this meet. I'm sure he would have brought more racks if they would have asked him.
Yeah, that had to be like a communication thing or something. Like
I mean,
but
he's
I don't know. Like, does someone
Those pound plates were his though, I'm pretty sure.
in that
word?
ER,
Yeah.
but both ERs, I'm pretty
But
sure.
I'm surprised they didn't bring in like any kilos
I mean,
or
I get they also have to
like
keep their
combo.
Trueborn open for all the other lifters. They could have spared a few pounds,
No,
like a few
I was about to
kilos.
say. I mean, I I I guess I need to actually become a member or like be in that shit so I can know how it works. Like, no, like, are y'all just slutting out one pair, like one pile of weights for like these meats that are like what's
Well,
going on here?
I mean, it was specifically for CJ squatting 700. His goal was to squat, I think, like 720 or I forget.
Yeah, but
But
I was saying in like the prior senses, like I know most it had become really common to see kilos in the warm up room. So like people were like there was definitely like transporting kilos and stuff. Like I don't know,
yeah,
man. But like I said, like hey, I just don't want everyone to go to a meet and see these bumpers in the warm up room again, bro.
yeah. I mean, I feel like one of the things Georgia struggles with is oversaturation of meats to where the quality just goes from really good, like at Trueborn, they host meets, to absolute trash CrossFit meets that happen too often. I feel like the standard needs to be raised. I'm not like a elitist here. I get the point of them to just get people into the sport. But if you're going to get people into the sport, show them the sport. Because I mean, you got Texas, Pennsylvania, Ohio State holding these phenomenal meets. And yeah, there's going to be these lower gym meets that might be low budget. But
But the thing
this was ran
is
by our head chair, right?
there's just so much like the comparisons you're throwing out there. They just have so much more money circulating throughout.
Mm-hmm.
That like so I I I think I actually think we have like I think there does need to be multiple meets throughout the year. Very like I think we have a good amount of meets because I look at other states because I actually like I've always thought about I never really wanted to compete locally like I always wanted to travel or something like that was an aspect to it for me. But like I look at these other states and there's some states that dead ass have two meets a year in this
Mm-hmm.
federation because the other federations in that state. I think we have the right amount of like we also have the most members in USAPL we have Georgia we've ever had. So like I I mean I think it's the right amount. I don't think we need like five like 120
Mm-hmm.
person meets because then like how are you
Yeah.
distinguishing it?
Well, I mean, one of the
I
biggest
just
things for
think hey
me,
let's
I mean, one of the biggest things for me is like with us growing, having these DNA meets, these collegiate cup meets, these nicer meets, you might as well kind of reform and
No,
take those lower meets out as adding in
I
those top
just think
meets.
I just think there needs to be more structure in how the meats are placed according to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of these meats would be like 2-3 weeks, and then you're eliminating demographic of people who just compete or whatever. There just needs to be more
Yeah.
structure to how they're set up. Or
And another
I
thing is
agree
like,
with
so
Eli.
yeah, Tony's an elitist though, so we know he agrees.
yeah, no,
But like,
Tony only wants meets with like 10 people with 500 dots to show up.
yeah, if you don't have a 500 dots, you should quit powerlifting, honestly. But one other thing was like with these last two big meets, Collegiate Cup is like the session changing. Like they're not planning to hold this many lifters. So Collegiate Cup, obviously, they had 3 sessions and they pushed a session over to Sunday. Holiday Havoc was 1 session planned and then pushed to an afternoon session. They should start to expect more people to sign up, make room, and plan that because I mean, I think the Collegiate Cup, no one knew that there was 3 sessions unless they had somebody competing. Like
That
we didn't know until Grayson talked to us.
No, I just think there's like, especially now that like we have these a couple of younger people directing meets, and then we still have all the other people who's always directing meets. I just don't know if there's like they don't communicate with each other. But like, I mean, doesn't every meet we do just about sell out, or like
Yeah, I
most of
mean,
our
they fill up
meet,
like that.
yeah, like so we like. I don't think the answer is to take meets out. We just need to have better meets.
Well, I mean, one of the biggest issues is like people like Ryan, they don't sign up for the open, and then the extra $40 would have got us another plate.
No,
So
and like that sounds like he's being funny, but like that type of stuff, like I'm sure like that's got to help him on the back end. You know what I'm saying? Like
it definitely
I like
helps, but it is $40 more, and that's tough.
no, but I think like the other meat directors in the across the nation that put on phenomenal meats, they just usually have to eat a good amount of cost because these things like if you don't want to see a boring little meat, we're gonna have to do some things like some things that aren't just like common. So like you're gonna eat costs. So like however we can, however we can get money into the federation or state, like that's how we got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I, I don't just think meat directors should just like be coughing up everything for that, but like it's got to be a give and take because like I've heard like other states like they just even if they didn't promise a cash prize like the meet directors will like walk up and give people this amount of money because like they just some people think athletes deserve that. But like it that's not a very easy thing to do, and these meets just don't make tons of money, so we gotta help it be profitable however we can, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Ryan, what
me,
do you think? Quality or quantity?
Definitely quality, but I was gonna ask you guys like, do you guys think that lack of structure of like the meet schedule throughout the year is also due to like Atlanta and then the rest of Georgia?
It
Like the
very well could
team.
be. But even
Yeah.
so, I think well, like, one thing I would like to complain about is like why is the Georgia State Championships always so close to CNATs or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't think that's structured well at all.
yeah.
Because like if Tony was still in powerlifting America in USAPL, Tony doesn't really necessarily want to do like if he was in college, why would I put Tony through like the best meet Georgia locally has because we have CNATs coming up.
You could have used me as an example, but yeah, if you want to talk about
Yeah, my
Tony,
fault. Like, but yeah, like I wasn't thinking, but yeah,
yeah, I got you. Yeah,
I
I
don't know
mean,
why
and
that was so
hopefully,
funny to me.
and
You could
I,
have
I'm
hopefully,
used so many people, man.
I'm
It's
yeah,
cool.
I
stupid,
know,
but
kick
no,
Tony.
but like that just makes no sense to me. Why states is why our states is when it is because, but I know they like you'll see like there'll be like a state championship in like April of some state so there's obviously no structure to it.
Yeah.
That's just when we choose to have ours.
Yeah, and I feel like it's strange that the most chaotic meet schedules come out of Atlanta, which is our most developed powerlifting space, which I get. were overloaded with athletes from there. But you got like South Georgia Barbells at the same time every year. You got Drew consistently planning his meets. Obviously, he's going to plan more PA meets now, trying to get Valhalla
Yeah.
weights, trying to get attention over there, trying to get somebody to sign up.
No,
But
Ryan,
I
that
just feel
was a
like,
good point. But like also, I mean, even if like we all lived in Valdosta, if 80% of the Georgia population lives in Atlanta, you got to cater to the Atlanta people at
yeah,
least mostly, you know. But
For
but I
sure.
don't. Yeah, I just wish there was a way we had more structure somehow.
yeah. I mean, I feel like there should be a checklist of things. Like, I feel like Drew has this checklist in his head because I've heard him talk about it, but a checklist of things you need at a meet is be able to hold the capacity lifters you're going to get. I don't think we checked that list for Havoc. Have like adequate services, which means bathrooms, water fountains, have that you know your lifters are going to need. I don't think we really had that for Havoc. And then I would say proper equipment to hold your athletes. Yeah. But
Yeah.
for spectators, like they didn't charge too much for them. I think it was $15. I'm grateful for that. We could be in a situation like the Winter Wrecker where it's $40 to coach, I think $60 to spectate, or the opposite. We could be in a
But that's
situation like
also
that.
because of how much because of the production of that meat of how
Mhm.
much money they put into like that. That's a very nice meat to look at, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and that's like I don't think we need all that until this like the scene warrants it, where we have so many good lifters that people like would like pay all that to see. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
give us the necessities and just like I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish states was at a different time.
Yeah, I think I agree with what Eli was saying. I think that quality over quantity, like I think we just need bigger meats because if we have bigger meats, like less meats but bigger meats, more money's going to be coming into these meats. So then the production, and I'm not saying that it needs to be like the Winter Record where they have like all these LED screens. I just mean we need more combo racks in the warm up
I
room.
know, but Virginia doesn't. Virginia has so many meats. Like,
I
like
think that
all of these.
Trueborn, I think the Trueborn meat was like a great standard for what the local meat should look like
Mhm.
at in Georgia because we've had multiple local meets, in my opinion, where I was like, dog, like this isn't good. And I'm talking about looking back, the Burrow battle was really like it was also in a CrossFit gym, and it
Yeah.
was too bad. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the best meet at all. The collegiate meet that we commentated, Eli and Ryan was there taking pictures. Wasn't a fan of that meet, how that was going. Or just like the venue and everything. Like the internet was trash.
Well,
Obviously, the Holiday Havoc. I feel like we could have more meets like Trueborn, and it could still be viable.
Mhm. I
Personally,
mean, that's ultimately what we're trying to get out of DNA right now. Like DNA is like the top tier gym right now for Atlanta athletes. Like they're leaving Marietta Barbell. Marietta Barbell is going to go back to being more of an equipped gym. Trueborn's a huge gym for the younger lifters and people who have connections with Trueborn. DNA is becoming a hot spot to where they're gonna grow like Trueborn did initially, and we'll have another spot for those meets. But I just feel like you got to have the venue. Like Drew secured the venue for Valhalla.
well, I was about to
It'll
say
suck
is
if it doesn't
but the
turn
thing
out.
about Georgia is if you don't have that meet in Atlanta, there's or where another college is at, there's not going to be a quality venue or like a really quality venue to begin with unless you're in Atlanta, and then we don't have the money to pay what it would take to get a good venue in Atlanta. You know, so then you're looking at these gyms, CrossFit gyms. Drew's looking at getting at a smaller colleges like basketball court, that type of thing. You know, like I think I think it's a resource. Like a where do we have these meets at to begin with? Unless we have them in a hotel or some shit, you know. Unless, but now like DNA is a great place to have a meet at. I think like it's big in space, all the resource like he has over there. But like how many of our powerlifting gyms are even like that big in space?
Yeah, I'm for sure worried about like the capacity of DNA.
like
handling the spectators.
our
amazing.
bro came out of the door sliding in like that so casually, but like I think we're just now getting to a good spot where we can have better meets. But like, yeah, I just think some things could be timed better.
I think the
Basically,
state meet, yeah, like you said, the state meet at the least needs to be at a better time and needs to be because
'cause
looking back, I don't like how we had a state meet in a high school.
yeah, no, but Tony, I just because you like I was thinking about it. The thing with that Virginia record too is like everyone knows all Virginia meets are really good, but I'm pretty sure the Virginia record, like the winter record or whatever, up there is kind of like the highest level local meet they have. Like they really go out for that every year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they had the Virginia Pro. I
I
mean,
they've had there was a meet I looked into to go up to Virginia and it filled up. I can't remember what it was. Like I just know they had meets and but that meet director is like a rocket scientist or something. He has money and
Well, and
he can eat it.
the surrounding states are also huge in powerlifting for Virginia.
yeah,
Like us, we
No,
have Drew holds the meet, so Tennessee can be a part of it. Florida doesn't really
yeah.
come up; they got their own thing. Carolinas are doing great. Alabama doesn't have a great scene right now.
bro,
I mean, obviously we have
like we have to have the gyms and our community has got to bind together because the problem
yeah
is, it's like Drew absolutely like because me and Eli did a meet up there in Tennessee, like or damn near,
on the border. Yeah, I slept at
and then
Tennessee and came back.
then there's the Atlanta crew, and then I feel like they give the South Georgia meet like out of pity, like hey we know no one who really competes up here is gonna come to this one unless they have to, but if y'all
Yeah.
have some people who just started powerlifting, here y'all go.
Yeah, I mean they got a nice little space down there at South Georgia Barbell. It's, they have an Olympic side, a powerlifting side. I think it might even have a little strongman set up there. But my friend's family's from there. He was going to do it as his first meet. I mean, it's just low quality. I mean, it's not like the Atlanta meet. It's going to be a lower quality meet.
I've
But
kind of always been surprised there hadn't been like a meet and like I feel like there's got to be a venue, maybe Eli, you know, like at like a Warner Robins or something, or like Macon or something, like
yeah, I mean, there's
at
definitely space.
like that's somewhat central where like everybody can kind of migrate.
Mhm.
I've kind of always thought about that, but there's no
What about
powerlifters here.
Augusta?
That's
Yeah, I
so
mean,
that's
but
like Carolina.
I mean, they had the Classic City in Athens last year. I remember it was October. I don't know why they didn't repeat that. It was mildly
That was
successful.
like one of the first Athens meets I remember. Am I right, Ryan?
Well,
Yeah,
wasn't
it
that a
was.
mock meet? Wait, what was that?
No, it was real. It was the Classic
The
City.
first like Classic City meet or whatever.
I mean, it was legit. I was gonna do it, but it was like the day after my brother's wedding, so I had to miss out on it.
Wait, which meet are you talking about?
It was the Classic City something. I remember a couple people that did it. It was a
Yeah,
I
legit meet.
remember
It
that
was not a
meet.
mock meet. It was October 23rd, I think, something like that of last
I
year.
definitely
Oh,
remember
oh
that
yeah,
meet.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Never mind. Yeah.
yeah. So no, but I mean, like, yeah, Athens would be a great spot. Like, I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I think we
So
covered things pretty well.
yeah, I feel like me and Avery have been ranting. So obviously, we're gonna have Ryan on the pod many times throughout this whole career. Very easy to talk to for us because we all know him very well.
We're
I feel
sorry
like we
for holding
covered
you too
Havoc.
long, Ryan. I could tell you got sleepy, bro.
No, no, you're good. I don't sleep until like 2 a.m.
That's crazy.
My
I
fault.
He's
don't
so
go to sleep.
yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, Jill.
But yeah, I
I
mean,
have insomnia.
yeah, big fight card tomorrow.
But so that cover it because I gotta eat, boys.
That covers it. Just
You
a
definitely
little
gotta eat,
preview
bro.
ahead. We're gonna try to do like a CNAT series where we bring on anyone from Georgia competing at CNATs, maybe even a few out of state people. Try to really prep everyone for this meet,
We hope y'all like
and
us.
we're definitely gonna do a states thing. Hopefully, me and Tony can be a local voice on the commentary. Maybe they'll let us slide in for a few to give some commentary. But Tony's got a lot of athletes competing soon. Avery's got a few. I don't know. We'll try to be more active now we're out of school. But peace.
Talk to y'all later.